Hi there. In this video, we're going to keep fixing some unit tests. Again, we're going to be using the dashboard in order to find the next test to fix. So this was a test that ran recently, 28 minutes ago, and it detected a failure here with test remainder with a NumPy backend. So let's take a look at that. So we need to go to test ivy, test functional, test core, test element-wise, test remainder. What we can also do is take a look at the example in the log, which can be quite helpful. So this is what the example was. So what we can, for example, do very quickly is add at example. I think that's how we do it. Maybe actually it's slightly different to this. Let me just quickly check. I think maybe we can just import example, and this is how it works. Yeah. I think that works. We might be able to get rid of given in that case. Let's see. Actually trying this for the first time, so maybe this won't run. So look. Yeah, no, I don't think that works. But let's just do this, and at least it should run this example, hopefully. Yeah, does that look like what happened here? What was the actual error? Yeah, okay, cool. So we've managed to reproduce it. Okay, great. So what's going on then? Why is that happening? So the return, I'm going to quickly make one push, which is to change this to rep from GT instead of NumPy. Rep from GT NumPy, maybe like this. Yeah, and I'm going to quickly push that because that's already improved the clarity of some stuff. Yeah. Okay. A small argument name change in this. Just makes things a little bit more clear, because it used to be that NumPy was the ground truth, but it's no longer that. So return from the ground truth as a NumPy array, return as a NumPy array, rather than return from NumPy, which is no longer the ground truth. In fact, it's TensorFlow. So a quick name update to just avoid some confusion. Okay, and yeah, so what's the example again, actually? What's actually going on? And why might things not be working as they should be? So, so the problem is this -4 over -3, and it seems as though NumPy is returning 0, and TensorFlow is returning -1. Especially, I suppose, when modulus equals false. And the question is, why is this happening? I actually am going to make a test file for this because it might be a bit easier to dive in that case. So I'm going to go ahead and do that rather than just stepping through the code. Import ivy.set. Another thing, first of all, is to work out which of these actually we would expect, and we can even just focus then on the wrong one. So I find this a little bit confusing sometimes, but -3 with it'll be like -4 divided by -3, and what's the remainder? Certainly the remainder is not 0 actually, so it seems very much as though numpy is going wrong here. So let's run it for numpy and see why that's happening. Remainder. It also could be related to the data type, so let's just do that as well in the test. I'll also give it a shape. I'm not sure that's necessary, but I'll do that anyway. And yeah, let's take a look and maybe step inside. So that's giving us -1. Maybe I got confused here, but my understanding was that it was numpy that was... Oh no, yeah, my apologies. We need to put modulus equals false. What does that do? How does that behave? Okay, this is the problem then. So let's step inside and see what's going on here. Oh, we're going to need to step inside all of this. Let me just jump ahead and find it directly. Remainder. So let's just step into here. So the first thing we do is we promote the types, and we then have int16 and int16 seems sensible. Then we get res is this 1.3, res floored is 1, the diff is 0.3. With these promoted, the data type is float64. Fine. Diff, so is this 0.3, x2 is -3. So that's going to be -1. Right. Curious. That is bizarre. I thought that we could just... So a float. So what if we don't even do the casting? We just do... Is it as type? Is that a NumPy function? Yeah. And what is it supposed to be again? x1.datetype. Wow, okay. Why is that the case? I mean, right. That's annoying. So we need to round this then. Okay, that should fix it. I didn't realize that casting floats to integers in NumPy will do a floor implicitly. That seems, to me, that seems unintuitive, but I don't know what the default is for other frameworks. But a value that prints to -1 because it's so close to -1 and maybe has floating, just kind of rounding errors, for that to then floor to 0 doesn't seem very useful, but what do I know? I'm sure NumPy has its reasons, but we'll do this to make sure that, because this actually will always be an integer. There might be a better way or a more elegant way to capture this remainder behavior, but by the time we get back here, even though this is a float in a float, we are meant to be getting back to an integer, so let's just make sure that we get to the right one with the rounding, and this should then work. So now presumably this passes this failing example, and we can then move on. Hope so. Oh, it's annoying. Okay, so what's going on now? Ugh, okay. Is this with the same falsifying example? No, it's not. So what's the correct behavior here then? So we're dividing -1 by this thing. The remainder in this case should be 0. I believe. Well, the remainder, it must be an integer, so it certainly shouldn't be this. So let's work out why that's the case. In this case, it's the TensorFlow one that's causing a problem, so let's now dig into this one. Okay, so let's take a look. So let's make this int 8. Let's make this float 16. Oh, let's also add keymon. I forgot about this. Just in case that's of any use to anyone watching. Yeah, okay. So now we can do -1. This can be this. And let's now investigate why TensorFlow is doing this. And what we can fix there. Might be the same problem, actually. Or perhaps a similar problem. So, yeah. Let's go here. So I'm going to assume that it's right up to this point. diff is this, x2 is this. Okay, that's already a bit strange. So x1, x minus 1, x2 is this. Res is this. Res floored is this. Diff is this. Yeah. Oops. So I'm just going to do round again. So I think this is the correct approach. In fact, I'm going to do this in all of them. Because I think by definition the remainder should be an integer. Although perhaps so I'm going to quickly take a look at the standard. Rate API standard remainder. What exactly is going on here? Okay, yeah, not anything super clear off the bat here, but I think this behavior is correct. So we've modified it for TensorFlow with the inclusion of the rounding. We've modified it for NumPy with the inclusion of the rounding. So let's just get the others done. Jax, element-wise, def, remainder. Let's do jmp.round this. Yeah, so we've done Jax. I don't think we added it for mxnet because we're not developing for this at the moment. NumPy, TensorFlow, and finally Torch. Okay, so hopefully this works. Let's now, well, I can quickly just verify with the test that this is now returning the 0. Let's take a look. Okay, it is, so then we can make sure that the test is working. Okay, awesome. So we can then get that pushed. So let's, yes, 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 no, no, no. Small fixes for remainder in all backends when modulus equals false. I didn't change that, but maybe okay, fine. I guess there's been some lint errors introduced. Okay, I think that's all good. Yeah, so let's just get rid of that. This is how I normally get rid of things. It's probably a quicker way. Okay, so that was a bit of a longer one, but hopefully it was useful. So we've got that fixed now. And then in the next video, we'll just be moving on to the next. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.